The lengths at which the left will go to cover their tracks is astounding. I mean, now the ridiculous argument that's being made is they're accusing a Hispanic of being a white supremacist. I mean, they are just post-truth, making stuff up, just saying whatever, no integrity. At least that's what I would say if I were a right-wing grifter. But since I'm not, let me again help Americans with their constant struggle for, or to be able to comprehend the English language. So, right-wingers in this country have sometimes rightfully pointed out the misuse of terms like racist used by the left, right? There are certainly many people on the left who will throw that word around, going against the definition of the word, and the right will point this out. Those same people who will rightly point out the left's misuse of the word racist are now doing the exact same thing regarding the word white nationalist. And those that are doing this, people like Tim Pool, are failing on so many different levels, right? At least when the left does the same thing with the word racist, it's just on one level, right? The one level is they are just idly throwing the word around, whether it applies or not. That's it. Someone does something they don't like, certain types of things. It's not just anything they don't like, but generally certain types of things that they can loosely sort of point to racism, and they will just automatically like, that's racist or he's racist, right? That's it. But the failure of the right in terms of their supposed misunderstanding of what a white supremacist is, it's on multiple levels. And it's not just the lack of comprehension of the word white supremacist, it's also their lack of comprehension on what Hispanic means. So number one, there's another level. There's so many levels to the failure here. Okay. Number one, a Hispanic can be so-called white. I mean, the term white is fictitious in my view. White and black. I don't acknowledge or accept those ridiculous terms that mean nothing. You know, the way that the right goes after, I identify as, right? I identify as. The way that they go after identify as, Apache attack helicopter. What is a woman, right? In a similar vein, I look at these terms, white and black, right? People are just arbitrarily identifying as. There's no science behind it. There's no like black test or white test, right? People are just, I mean, it's not totally arbitrary, like the attack helicopter analogy, but for the most part, people are just sort of making stuff up, right? There's no test I can take that determines, I'm black or I'm white. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Regardless of your acceptance or rejection of these racial terms, again, someone can be identifying as white and Hispanic. So that's failure number one, right? So you can't have a guy who is identifying as white and who these same people would identify as white who is Hispanic. Right? Hispanic doesn't mean that you are non-white. I mean, we get into census stuff or whatever, but again, that's number one. It's failure number one. Failure number two. There's no part of the definition of white supremacist that involves the skin color of the person who can be identified as such. White supremacy is an ideology. Ideology exists between your ears. It is a thought process. The way you view the world, right? Anyone can have any ideology they choose, right? And again, this specific ideology, there's no reference to the skin color or ethnicity of the person who adopts this ideology. So being a white supremacist has nothing to do with the person, what is a woman? The biology of the person who has that ideology, right? Show me a definition where it says white supremacist is a white person who... Show me where it says that anywhere. Show me where any kind of black supremacy, where it says in the definition the ethnicity of the person who holds the ideology, right? Show me the definition where it says a person of this ethnic whatever that has this. No, it's an ideology. I don't have to be white to believe that they're superior, right? You don't have to be a member of the group to hold an ideology that that group is superior. Is this such a foreign concept? The idea of someone who is from an outside group who believes that that group is superior. Is this a new thing? It's not a new thing. It's not a new thing. It's not complicated. So, to the question of whether a Hispanic can be a white supremacist and the idea that this is somehow a ridiculous notion, I say to you, what is a woman? Right? Right back at you. We want to play these games of I identify as and all this kind of mumbo jumbo. Ideology exists between the ears. Anyone can hold any ideology. I can be so-called black and be racist against black people. I can be so-called white and be racist against white people. White people can be racist to their own race, right? Blacks can be racist to white. I mean, it's ideology, right? So absolutely, without a doubt, this is not something that is debatable. It's something that requires any kind of deep thought or analysis, like, can a Hispanic be a white supremacist? On two levels, absolutely. Because they can be white, which is not a requirement to be white supremacists, and because they are human. They are human, right? Hispanics are humans. And as humans, we have brains, and our brains, is what is the source of what we refer to as the mind. And we have the ability of free thought. People may talk about challenges of free speech, but no one can control yet our thoughts, right? Anyone can think anything. I can believe that witches are superior beings. I can believe in reindeer. I can believe in unicorns, right? I can believe that blacks are inferior, right? Regardless of what I am, right? We are free to believe whatever we want to believe, and therefore we can adopt any ideology, right? And we can do so irrespective of who we are biologically, right? You can be a woman who is, I don't want to say anti-woman, but you can be a woman who believes that women are inferior, women should be subservient to men, right? You can be a man and you can believe that men are inferior. You can be a so-called black person and believe that blacks are inferior. You can be a so-called white person and you can believe anything you want to believe. And if you stumbled on the idea of whether a Hispanic can be a white supremacist, if you fell for Tim Pool and his games of, oh, they're trying to say this Hispanic guy is a white supremacist, there's got to be so many things that you are confused about, that you're wrong about, that you don't understand. Because if you don't have the comprehension ability to figure out, first of all, the definition of what a white supremacist is. In 2023, the age of ChatGPT, where Google it is legacy, right? Becoming legacy. How long have we had the internet and the ability to search things? How long have we been beyond encyclopedias and dictionaries? If you in 2023 struggle with a basic concept of who can be a white supremacist, I suggest to you that there's many other things that you are wrong about, that you're lost about. And whatever ideology you hold, I'm sure there's a lot of other problems with your ideology. Because if you couldn't pick up on this simple detail, how many other things did you miss? Right? And if you have been walking around rightfully calling out the left for their misuse of the term racist, but yet here in a situation, you yourself don't have an understanding of what a white supremacist is, because you thought being Hispanic made you can't be a white supremacist. That's somehow crazy, right? I would think that if this is your thought process, you're probably one of the people who would say a so-called white person who is married to a so-called black person can't be racist. So, I mean, again, lack of comprehension, lack of critical thinking. So, that statement, I could be a white, so-called white person. So, as a white person, there's no way that I could be racist and married to a so-called black person. What does the word mean? I think that's what it is. The same people who would call out others for not using the word racist appropriately don't understand what the word means. Cannot fathom that a so-called white person could marry someone that they feel is inferior. Like that's unheard of. The idea that a man could marry a woman that he feels is inferior to him. That's a foreign concept. Every man marries his equal, right? Every man who marries a woman thinks that the woman is his equal. That's what we're trying to suggest, right? There's no idea that a man could look at a woman purely as an object, as a tool, right? Look at her purely sexually, or as a, whatever you want to describe, subservient to him. That's a foreign concept of a man marrying a woman who he thinks is subservient and inferior to him. And since that's just a foreign concept, the idea that a so-called white man could be racist and yet married to a so-called black person is like mind-boggling. How could that ever happen? Right? Holy crap. America. Ambassador says, look up Webster's dictionary version of that word. I would agree. But in this country, looking up the definition of words is too much to ask for. Welcome to the live chat. Creative Fantasy Box, he's a Latino wannabe Anglo. I don't know why that's hidden. For some reason you guys' comments are being censored. I don't understand. I'm trying to let it show your comments, but Thomas Jefferson held belief that black people are inherently inferior, but behind closed doors he was see them. Yeah. That's nothing. That shouldn't be anything surprising to anyone who has even a basic level of comprehension. Okay, so some other moderator responded to your comment. I'm sorry that you guys' comments are being blocked. You guys know I don't censor here. As long as you're not like doxing anyone or anything like that. I really don't care what you have to say. Call me racist names. You can even insult my family. I really don't care. I am not of this modern generation of, overly sensitive people. I mean, you have people on YouTube who will comment about people being super sensitive, and then they themselves will be like, blocking people and, well, I don't read the comments because, somebody might say something mean. Like, who cares? Like, I'm old school, man. Right? Say what you feel, man. Make fun of my receding hairline. Right? Tell me how dumb I am. Call me monkey. Really don't care. Right? Comments mean nothing. I shouldn't say that. I mean, if you're saying something that is engaging, and we're having a discussion, great. But if you want to be mean and say nasty things about me or anyone I care about, words mean nothing to me, man. I'm from the generation of sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt, right? Unfortunately, this modern generation is, in my view, soft from that perspective. Even the ones who are online talking about masculinity and tough and alpha male, very, very soft people, right? All this alpha male talk, and these are the people that will get bent out of shape. Someone says something mean to them, they got to block them and make a whole video. Somebody said something mean to me. Like, bro, grown men who can't handle nasty comments online talking about masculinity and men can't be men. I mean, I think the lowest standard of masculinity is the ability to handle words. If there's certain words that you can't handle, trigger you. Now, I will give one exception. It depends on who's saying the words. If it's random people on YouTube, who cares, right? But if it's someone that you love that's using hurtful words, I mean, it's okay for that to bother you, right? It's okay. That's a different context, right? If your wife is saying that you are worthless and whatever it is, this is somebody that you love or whatever, I think it's a human thing to have a response to that. But when it's random people online who could be, for all you know, a 5-year-old, or even if they're an adult, somebody you don't know, you'll never meet, like, what difference does it make what they have to say about you, what they think about how you look or your points of views or your anything? And even the family thing, like, I don't know, we have this twisted view of masculinity. So someone says something about my mother, it's the macho thing for me to get all bent out of shape, and I'm supposed to be like, how dare you, that's, you crossed the line. I think as a man, right, we don't allow trivial things to affect us, right? It's like, if someone tries to physically attack your mother, then hell yeah, beast mode, right? But if someone is saying something about your mother, it means nothing, right? Words mean nothing. Words from random people mean nothing, right? But this is the modern generation of overly sensitive people, including the people who will critique others for being overly sensitive, but they themselves are also overly sensitive, who will make 10-minute videos crying about somebody hurt their feelings. right? Meanwhile, putting up alpha male. I'm an alpha male. Yeah, right. All right, guys. That's all I have to say on the matter. I know we kind of went off topic a little bit there. Topic? Did I say topic? A lot of Hispanics hold strong white supremacist ideology. He's Latino wannabe. All right. Thanks for joining, guys. This is Debate Me channel. Debate Me comment section below. Click on the like button, subscribe, smash that bell. And if anybody writes anything mean about me in the comments, I'm gonna have you blocked, and I'm gonna contact YouTube and see if I can have your channel suspended or your account suspended, and then I'm gonna put a police report in. Well, I will. That's another exception, by the way. If someone's online making violent threats, they're saying credible threats like I'm gonna come kill you, or I'm gonna kill all your family, or something like that. That's different, because again, the issue, I think we as men should concern ourselves with things that matter, right? Things that have consequence. Otherwise, we are more focused on the things that are important, right? Providing for our families, being responsible, being able to take care of yourself, having a job, and that kind of thing. Personal responsibility. We're worried about stuff like that, and things that don't fall into that category. It's not really something that's really worth, really our time, right? That's what I look at it. Anyway, until next time. Ciao. Look at the hairline.